this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder that Capital One Bank Guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also tell you about how Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A., member FDIC. Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage, because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more.
Hey everyone, it's Josh, and for this week's SYSK Select episode, I picked How Magic Mushrooms Work, which came out in 2012. I think we were just kind of starting to dip our toe into controversial topics, maybe, who knows. And I think I remember us being worried we were going to get in trouble for it. Well, we didn't, so here it is again. Enjoy.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. There's Charles W. Chuck Bryant with me. And this is the Far Out podcast, Stuff You Should Know.
That's right. We're kicking off. This is our first show we're recording in 2012. And Josh thought, let's kick it off with a little Allman Brothers and get psychedelic.
Exactly. That's who you think of when you think psychedelia?
Well,
Allman Brothers?
They were known for having mushrooms on their album covers and T-shirts, and it was a very common thing.
Those are peaches.
No, they had mushrooms all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but generally, no. Of course, you think of the Grateful Dead. I suppose.
Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, the 13th floor elevators.
Yeah, Quicksilver Messenger Service. Moby Grape.
Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Right. Chocolate Watch Band.
Jimi Hendrix, of course.
Who?
Yeah.
So, Chuck, you're familiar with psychedelia, rock and roll.
Of course.
Are you familiar with psychedelia as far as psychedelics are concerned? I know you are. And do you want to know how I know you are?
Because we podcasted on it.
That's exactly right.
LSD and CIA, what else? It seems like we've hit
Can
it.
psychedelics treat mental illness?
That's right.
That was a big one. That kind of overlaps with some of this. We're going to lay a lot of the blame of all of the lost research, decades of it, at the feet of Timothy Leary, the man who ruined everything.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about, pardon my sniffles, by the way, I'm not sick. Mentally, I'm not allowing myself to think of me as sick. I have sniffles.
That's what I did. I was like, no, I'm not sick. I'm just not going to let it happen.
And look at you. You look fantastic.
Yeah, it was just a few days. I think if I would have wallowed in it, it would have been more than a week.
I'm not letting myself.
Like, I hit it hard, man. Like, tons of fluids and emergency and airborne and fruits, and that was fine.
Okay.
You'll be great.
Airborne? You know that's like wholly discredited.
It's the same thing as emergency, pretty much. It's just like vitamins and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it doesn't keep you from getting sick. I think that's how it's discredited. But it'll help you out, like, in a vitamin-y way.
Right.
All right.
Some college kids are just like, get to the mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's get to the mushrooms, Chuck.
Okie dokie.
Chuck.
Josh.
I've got no real intro other than I think we should talk about the history of mushrooms first.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that sounds great.
Apparently, there's a lot of debate over how long people have been using magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
As far as religious rituals, recreationally, who knows? But
yeah.
the supposition is that it goes back thousands and thousands of years. For example, there's a cave painting in Algeria that's 9,000 years old that supposedly depicts mushrooms. There's another one in Spain that's 6,000 years old that depicts mushrooms.
Sure.
And I mean, it makes a lot of sense that when you think of Native American tribes, Amerindian tribes, Mesoamerican tribes, these people have customarily eaten magic mushrooms all this time, right?
Well, that's what one camp says is, hey, they've been used in religious rites for thousands of years in Central America and Northern Africa, like you said.
Yeah.
So, what's the rub? But then there's another camp that says, hey, you can't prove that. You're just seeing what you want to see when you look at that cave painting or that Allman Brothers cover. And just because there's a mushroom on the wall doesn't mean that they ate magic mushrooms. What did the Aztecs have? Tio, how do you pronounce that?
I don't know. I've never been good at pronouncing Aztec, but I can take a stab at it if you'd like me to.
Sure.
Teonactl.
Right. They called it the flesh of the gods, and they used the substance. We know that. We just don't know what it was. But a lot of people think that it might have been, quote-unquote, magic mushrooms.
Right. They also made statues of it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you generally only do that back in the day if it's a very revered substance.
Right.
They're not going to make a statue of just, like, whatever.
No. If we can speak in likelihoods, we know there were mushrooms, or we assume that there were these mushrooms growing wild like they are today.
Sure.
In these areas, that these people were hunters and gatherers and foragers, so likely tried these mushrooms. If they did try these mushrooms, they probably wigged out, right? Isn't that the clinical term?
I think they call it a trip.
Okay.
Man.
They tripped and probably started incorporating it into their cave art, you know? Like teenagers do today.
Sure. Exactly.
On their book covers.
On their notebooks.
Yeah.
It has been confirmed in contemporary tribes in Central America, including the Mazatec, the Mixtec, the Nahua, and the Zapotec. So all the techs are way into it.
Yeah.
At least these days.
Right.
So if they eat it these days, I would say chances are they probably ate it back in the day as well.
Right. Okay. So as far as the West is concerned, I'm sorry, it's not just Middle America,
right.
Mesoamerica, Northern Africa, and Spain.
You mean like a Middle America, like Ohio and Michigan?
Right. Okay. It's not just Kansas that's on mushrooms. The Sami, have you heard of the Sami people?
No.
So they're Finnish. They're like indigenous Finnish tribes. Like Bjork clearly has Sami in her. Like her look is very Sami.
I like that look.
Yeah, well, you'd like the Samis.
Cool looking.
They love mushrooms so much that they are known to drink the urine of reindeer that have just recently ingested mushrooms. And there's an art installation in, I think, Berlin recently of this guy who had a bunch of magic mushrooms in this pen, a bunch of reindeer in them, and he was having the reindeer eat the mushrooms and then collecting their urine and storing it.
Well, my question to him is, why would he go about it that way if he has the magic mushrooms? Did it, like, increase the potency or something like that?
I don't know. You'd probably be better off asking a Sami person than him.
Sure.
I don't know if, like, it's like that coffee we failed to mention that's fed to, like, ferrets.
And they poop out the coffee bean?
Right, exactly.
And then they roast that into coffee.
Exactly. It's status.
Yeah.
So anyway, people have probably been eating magic mushrooms for a long time, but among Westerners, it was totally unthought of, unheard of, unknown until the 50s, right?
Yeah. In 1955, a writer, he's a mycologist who studies mushrooms. His name was R. Gordon Wesson, and he traveled to Mexico a lot back in the 50s, searching out mushrooms, not for magic mushroom purposes, but he was just into mushrooms.
Right.
And he participated in a ritual there.
He and his wife did together.
Well, not at first. Actually, did you read the article?
No.
Yeah. It's really good. You should read it sometime. He took a colleague down there first. Later on, he took his wife and daughter, and she was like 18, so he was like, sure, she's old enough. And they all tripped on these mushrooms, but I'd like to read a selection, if I may.
Okay.
Alan is his friend, by the way.
Is that Alan Heim?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Alan and I were determined to resist any effects that they might have, to observe better the events of the night, but our resolve soon melted before the onslaught of the mushrooms. Alan felt cold and wrapped himself in a blanket. A few minutes later, he leaned over and whispered, "Gordon, I'm seeing things. I told him not to worry. I was too. We were never more wide awake, and the visions came whether our eyes were open or closed. They emerged from the center of our field of vision, opening up as they came, now rushing, now slowly, at the pace that our will chose. They began with art motifs. Motifs?
Fractals is another word.
Motifs. Angling such as might decorate carpets or textiles or wallpaper or the drawing board of an architect. Then I saw a mythological beast drawing a regal chariot. And then he goes on to describe all sorts of things, including seeing not an imperfect view of ordinary life, but the archetypes, the Platonic ideas that underlie the imperfect images of everyday life. So he was tripping hard.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And that's unusual that he says that he saw something in a chariot, because mushrooms and LSD are, although they're hallucinogens, they don't cause actual hallucinations. They tend to just mess with...
Distort things that are already there.
Exactly.
I have an answer for that because I thought the same thing. He did it in darkness.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, on drugs or not, if you go and sit in a dark room long enough, you're going to start seeing things in your mind's eye, and I think that's what was going on. He was imagining these things.
You're such an R. Gordon Wasson apologist, Chuck.
He was pretty moved, though, and he wrote this article in Life, and the editor picked out the title, Seeking the Magic Mushroom.
Yeah, that's where the name came from. A Life magazine editor in 1957 coined the term magic mushroom.
Who knew?
After that little trip, Wasson and Heim recruited Albert Hoffman, who was the chemist who created LSD, isolated LSD.
Yeah.
And said, hey, man, we know what you're into. Take these mushrooms and figure out what's going on with them. And he did, and he isolated the active ingredient, what is it, a trypto...
It's a tryptamine, which is an alkaloid.
Thank you.
That's actually related to tryptophan.
Okay.
The turkey stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, it happens to you on turkey.
But the tryptamine is, the two are psilocybin and psilocin.
So psilocin is, that's the metabolite of psilocybin.
Okay.
Psilocybin is the active ingredient, the tryptamine, found in mushrooms. And then when you ingest it, your body breaks down the psilocybin into psilocine, and they're starting to come to realize that psilocine is probably the culprit behind everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Before we move on, I want to point out in the article he did it quite a few times in Mexico, and then he said later on, just to test to see if it was part of just the communal experience of being there.
Yeah.
He went back to New York City and took some, and he said it was even better in New York City.
That's awesome.
So he disproved that.
He's like, I love New York.
Yeah.
Albert Hoffman isolates psilocybin, and Sandoz, who he worked for, who also started mass-producing LSD, started mass-producing psilocybin as well. And the psychiatry community got its hands on it and started studying it. We'll talk about some of the studies later, but as early as the 60s, they realized that obsessive disorders could be treated with psilocybin.
Until they shut it down.
They totally shut it down. Psilocybin, magic mushrooms, any of the psilocybin mushrooms are a Schedule I drug, which is kind of unusual because study after study has shown that mushrooms aren't habit-forming or addictive, and that, you know, they kind of do have a lot of medical uses, which, again, we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's talk about the mushrooms themselves, Chuck. They are a plant, a mineral, a fungus, or an animal?
They're an animal.
Okay.
They're a fungus, and it means it grows from a spore. And each little mushroom, in the case of psilocybin mushrooms, has anywhere from 0.2 to 0.4% psilocybin, which is a very small amount.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And the National Survey on Drug Use and Health in 2003 did a survey, and they found that about 8% of adults over 26, which to me makes this an invalid study already.
Right.
If they didn't include 20 to 25.
Right.
8% have tried it at some point.
I saw like teenagers, something like around 8%, but it was hallucinogens other than LSD.
Oh, really?
Which includes like PCP and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
It seems kind of weird to lump those together. But in Europe, the prevalence is probably higher, between 0.3% and 14.1%. of use at least once in the person's lifetime.
Between 0.3 and 14?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And
Let's just call it 14.
Okay. And then for some reason, the Czech Republic and Slovakia report the highest use among teenagers of magic mushrooms. Not sure why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be. I was about to bag on it and say, you'd do it too, but it's lovely.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why they're doing it, because it is lovely.
Right.
Because New York City is the best.
Hey everybody, we're here to talk to you about Wayfair, who believes that spaces should be functional, they should be comfortable, they should be well designed, and they can be well designed by you with their help.
Your updated space should feel more comfortable, inviting, and practical for everyday use. And we're talking about outdoor seating. We're talking about grills. We're talking about major appliances. If you need storage solutions, Wayfair can help you out. Patio lighting, rugs, decor. It is your one-stop shop for home.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting nice out, so it's time to think about living outdoors for the next few months. And Wayfair knows that outdoor furniture, it's heavy, it's intimidating to assemble. So Wayfair has stepped in and said, we're going to handle the hard part so you don't have to.
That's right. You can shop Wayfair Verified, your shortcut to the good stuff. And that means their team of product specialists are going to vet everything by hand using a 10-point inspection, testing things like, quality materials, functionality, and features, and even how long it takes to build that piece of furniture. And the overall experience save time, reduce hassle, and improved convenience.
Patio season is here, and these deals won't last. So head to wayfair.com right now to get your outdoor space ready for way less. That's WAYFAIR.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more.
So Timothy Leary, we failed to mention, but of course, obviously, he sunk his teeth into it, literally. And like you said earlier, like all things, he kind of killed the psychedelic movement in a way as he was actually creating it.
Yeah.
By making it, a hippie burnout thing.
Well, he definitely delegitimized it. I mean, there are a lot of people who were studying LSD and psilocybin and ibogaine, all those, to see how they can help people with mental illness. And Leary was like, no, man, let's just completely screw the establishment with this stuff.
Well, and he's the one who established the whole set and setting thing.
Right, which is still in use today, including in this article from HowStuffWorks.com. Set and setting are defined in here. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, this is the trip, as they call it. The mushroom trip is very dependent on set and setting, the frame of mind that you have going into it, where you are, the setting, obviously, if it's, some kind of stressful, highly organized thing, like if you're in school.
Or you're like in a train station and somebody's like, you're going to miss your train, you're going to miss your train.
It's probably not a good idea.
Right.
Or if you're hanging out with friends and you're camping or you're doing something there where you have no stress involved and you have the right outlook going in, Timothy Leary says that's what you want as far as going into this whole thing.
Right. Set is mindset and setting is your environment. Also, studies have found that even what are called drug-naive people can have a positive experience on psilocybin mushrooms if what's about to happen to them is explained to them ahead of time. That's a big part of it, too, is knowing what you're getting into, going into it.
Well, and that's a big part of these studies we're going to talk about later on, was these people were all coached ahead of time by people, they call them They're guides, is what they are.
Shaman?
No, they're research assistants who have had previous experience with psychotropics.
Gotcha.
But they would explain to them what they're about to get into, and that would obviously help them along as they're going in. But they do mention the guide thing in here, in this article. They say that a lot of people, because, you can have a bad trip, which the only thing you can do there is to ride it out. Obviously, you can't turn off the effects, which is a very important thing to note. It doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't. Although supposedly, in the emergency room, they usually prescribe sedatives, and
really?
that supposedly helps a bad trip.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. But they say in the article here, new users are often advised to have an experienced friend guide them through the experience. Like, did you see Flirting with Disaster?
Yeah.
Lily Tomlin? They accidentally dosed the cop, and she was like, Alan Alda's like, she's a great guide. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of coaches him through the thing.
I was looking up movies that have mushrooms in them, and I was having a lot of trouble. I found like Altered States.
Well, this was LSD, but...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I guess that's a good time to mention that LSD and psilocybin mushrooms are very similar in the effect, although they say that mushrooms are generally milder and don't last as long.
Yeah. Their chemical composition is very, very similar.
Do you know how similar?
I think there's like one hydroxy, maybe,
really?
That's different.
But they're pretty close.
Very close, yeah.
When they made LSD, did they try to synthesize psilocybin? Was that what they were after?
No,
or was
because they didn't know that psilocybin existed until after LSD had been synthesized.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Because, he did LSD in 1945.
That's right.
He didn't do psilocybin until the late 50s.
That's quite a coincidence.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you know what's going on in the brain? Do you know what the whole secret is behind magic mushrooms?
Central nervous system. There's some kind of... It inhibits something, right?
No, it does the opposite. It's an agonist.
Oh.
Which I came to realize that agony means that you feel everything. I'm in agony means you're feeling everything.
Yeah.
An agonist binds to a receptor, like in your brain.
Okay.
That releases a neurotransmitter. And in this case, psilocybin or psilocin binds to serotonin receptors.
Of course it does.
And says... release the serotonin.
Right.
And your synapses are flooded with serotonin. And that's what gives what clinical researchers basically call the sensation of just being overwhelmed by sensation.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's all serotonin, man. Although there is evidence that it affects your dopamine receptors, but not directly, like indirectly, which would kind of give you a sense of euphoria.
Right. So, Josh, some of the side effects when someone is taking mushrooms include dizziness and nausea.
Right.
Muscle weakness, loss of appetite, and numbness. Sometimes there could be vomiting. Sometimes, anecdotally, experts have said that inducing vomiting is a way to cease the nausea when you're experiencing nausea in a mushroom trip.
Yeah.
And it said they're not considered to be addictive, and you can build up a tolerance really quick.
Yeah. It says here in the article that, like, for example, taking mushrooms 2 days in a row is going to make the effects of them on the second day far less pronounced, I guess.
Yeah, and one of the guys in these studies, too, I believe takes them for cluster headaches, and he's taken them so much that they don't have hallucinogenic properties anymore.
Huh.
It's just like medicine for him.
Weird.
Yeah.
Really gross fungal medicine.
No, I think he might take a pill.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, though.
The tolerance also, you can build up a cross tolerance. So, like, if you took a bunch of mushrooms one day and then the next day took mescaline or LSD, those effects would be dampened as well. And I think it has to do with the fact that it's your serotonin.
Right. But if you do that, that means a lot of other things as well about you.
It does.
You know?
Yes.
I don't know what, but...
Oh, you know what.
Okay.
You have a T-shirt that has an Allman Brothers album cover on it.
It means you're a hippie. A dirty, dirty, smelly hippie.
So, Chuck, some of the other effects of tripping on shrooms is euphoria or dysphoria, and also sometimes a very rapid shift between the two.
Sure.
basically being really happy and then being terrified.
Right.
And then depersonalization, which is a sense that you are not yourself, or you belong to somebody else, or you lose your sense of self. And then derealization, which is the sense that you are in a dream, or that, man, this isn't real. Nothing is
Right.
real. That kind of thing.
The passage of time is often distorted, whether it's like, have we been talking about this for 5 hours or 5 minutes, or the other way around? I think it can go either way.
I found a study that basically tested that. It gave people psilocybin and then did like time interval tests and found that
really?
like 2 to 3 seconds is about the most that a person can successfully achieve these tests.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Wow.
beyond 3 seconds they start to get really bad at it. And they also found the person's tapping preference, which I guess is like if you're just sitting there tapping, your fingers, what your preference is, and it's slower when you're on mushroom.
Oh, really?
So,
and like you said, that you don't actually hallucinate. Like, you're not going to be sitting there and see pink elephants dancing across the room. But if there's a painting of a pink elephant, it might appear as if the elephant were breathing or moving or shifting. Or if you hear something like a song or running water or, a creek or something like that, you might hear other things within that sound.
yes.
But not completely imagine them.
Right. So, one of the things we were talking about was that, sure, mushrooms have been around for thousands of years, growing wild like they do today. And that's where a lot of people get their mushrooms, apparently.
Yeah.
Is just foraging it for them. One of the big problems is that while there are a lot of mushrooms in the genus psilocybe, which we probably should have mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There's the big spoiler.
Yeah.
All the mushrooms are in the same genus. There's a lot that look like them, too, and that might grow in similar places that will shut down your kidneys.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful when you're foraging for fresh wild mushrooms, if you're into that kind of thing, which neither Chuck nor I suggest should be done.
Yeah, we're not endorsing this.
No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, this is in the article.
Yeah, I thought that was implicit, but it's probably a good time to COA.
Yeah.
In the article, they also point out that even experienced mushroom hunters have made mistakes out there in the dark, in the field, among the cows. So, it can be toxic. It's not a good idea to go picking mushrooms growing in a cow pie.
And
in
also,
your mouth.
that holds true for if you're looking for truffles or, edible mushrooms.
Yeah.
You want to kind of know what you're doing. One way to tell what kind of mushroom you're looking at is to create a spore print, which apparently you take a piece of paper and you take the cap of the mushroom.
Yeah.
There's a stem and a cap. Mm-hmm. And in the genus psilocybe, most of them are fairly small. So the cap is about 1 inch tall.
Yeah.
The stem's about 3 inches tall.
Generally.
But you take the cap and you place it gill side down. If you've ever looked at the underside of a mushroom, there's the gills are just so weird looking.
Yeah, little powdery gills.
Powder is the spores.
Yeah.
You press the gills down on the paper and it should leave an imprint of the spores. And if you know what you're doing, you can identify more easily or more closely the kind of mushroom you're dealing with.
That's right.
So we said that there's like dozens of species, I think, of psilocybe mushrooms.
Yeah, there's tons of them. A couple of really popular ones, though, as far as ingestion goes, are the psilocybe cubensis. It's one of the most common ones. It's a little larger as far as magic mushrooms go. It's got a golden cap. I'm sorry, it's called the golden cap or Mexican mushroom. That's the street name, I think.
That's the one that R. Gordon Wasser probably was trying.
So, in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's got usually a reddish-brown cap, white or yellowish stem. And here's an important thing. When it's bruised or crushed, it can turn blue. And a lot of people will say, hey, that's how you know it's a magic mushroom, is if it turns blue when you crush it. Mm-hmm. And that's not true because there are toxic varieties that do the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to get yourself in trouble.
It's also coprophilic, which means that it grows in poop.
Yeah. Moist environments, very humid environments.
And hot.
Yeah, like South Georgia, let's say.
Or Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Which apparently, I didn't look to see, but as of February 2009 at least, is the only state in the union where it isn't illegal to, I guess, pick or possess fresh psilocybe mushrooms.
Fresh as in non-dried out.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Huh.
Or it was 2 years ago.
I was going to say, is it still, do you know?
I don't know. And when they say the reasoning is that, hey, it grows in the wild, people pick mushrooms and might pick them by accident, so we don't want to send you to prison if something's an accident.
Plus, the Rainbow family's in Ocala, and we don't want to screw up their jam.
One of the other more popular ones is the psilocybe semilanceata.
Nice, Chuck.
Or the Liberty cap.
Yep.
And it also is found in damp grassy fields populated by cattle, but it doesn't grow directly on the dung.
Right.
It has a little pointy cap, light yellow and brown, and it's smaller than the golden cap Mexican.
Right. And then I guess one of the other of the big three is P. baeocystis, or the bluebell or bottle cap.
Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more.
Hey everybody, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tide Evo because it represents over 10 years of innovation and product development. Tide Evo is a first-of-its-kind technology where tens of thousands of minuscule fibers are spun together to form a 6 times powerful layer packed with scrubbers, brighteners, pre-treaters, and fresheners. And that's going to deliver a breakthrough clean that's so powerful it feels like magic.
Yeah, it is kind of like magic. Tide Evo is revolutionary. A 100% concentrated, waterless laundry tile that's made of compressed microfiber soap layers rather than liquid or powder. And it's not like pods or sheets because it uses 6 layers of detergent fibers to deliver superior cold water cleaning without plastic packaging of any kind. And it provides a mess-free, lightweight solution that dissolves lickety-split. So whenever you run into a laundry challenge, turn to Tide Evo. It's revolutionary. It's magic. Try new Tide Evo. Real laundry magic.
So, Chuck, if one were disposed to take mushrooms, what, according to the article, would the person do?
Well, I mean,
what are the people who are taking mushrooms doing with them?
We talked about foraging. That's one way. You can buy them, which is illegal. Mm-hmm. And we don't recommend it, obviously.
It's illegal even to have spores, which is surprising because spores don't actually contain psilocybin, which is what's outlawed.
It's a weird loophole.
Right. But it's not a loophole. What's the opposite of a loophole? The donut part? Minus the hole?
The munchkin.
Okay.
That's the donut hole is the munchkin.
I know. I'm familiar with munchkins, believe me.
Okay. And then you can grow your own, obviously, but if you're looking to buy this kind of thing in the United States, they sell it much like marijuana in ounces and quarter ounces and eighth ounces. And I
know an eighth is defined in this.
It's 3.5 grams
in this article. This is the craziest article on the site. It has to be.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Because at one point she talks about who wrote this.
Shana Freeman?
Shana talks about the ones on the Gulf Coast give you a mellower high, but the Thai mushrooms give you a much more intense high.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is.
And when they dry out, which is when most people have them, they're dried out, they will lose some of their psychotropic properties in the drying process, but they retain these properties, I don't know about indefinitely, but for years.
Yeah. Well, because you're not just drying them. I think you have to freeze dry them, or you have to dry them. There's like a certain way to dry them, I think, that kind of locks in everything.
Locks in the flavor.
Right.
The gross.
Which apparently is
flavor.
very unfortunate. Some mushrooms have a reported flowery taste. That sounds awful. Sour or bitter. So it's not very fun, which means that a lot of people do crazy stuff with their mushrooms to make them more palatable.
Chocolates.
Mushroom chocolates is
Sure.
one. Soaking their mushrooms in liquor, like tequila or rum.
Uh-huh.
Just basically grinding them up and putting them into capsules, so like you don't taste anything at all.
Yeah, like a mushroom pill.
Or making mushroom tea, which supposedly, if you cook or brew mushrooms, it supposedly doesn't have an effect on the
potency.
Yeah, the experience the user has.
And it reportedly comes on quicker as well. And anecdotally, people have even been known to eat the slimy remains of the tea.
Gross.
That's what I think.
I mean, everything about mushrooms are gross, but slimy?
I don't like
mushrooms?
Regular mushrooms. I know they supposedly don't have much of a taste and they're put in foods for texture, but I don't like the texture.
Yeah.
The whole thing grosses me out.
Right. So, about 1 gram of dried mushrooms is apparently a very small dose. 4 grams is a medium dose for an adult, I read.
Medium to large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I guess 1 P. cubensis, the Mexican mushroom, dried is about 1 gram, one decent sized one. And when these 1 gram or 4 grams or whatever the dosage is taken is ingested, you apparently within 20 minutes, if you take it orally, 20 to 30 minutes, you start to experience symptoms, and they last for something like 6 hours,
depending on like the potency, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's what
how many you've taken.
That's what Shayna Freeman says in this article, is
Right.
that like there's differences from mushroom to mushroom, from person to person.
Right.
It's not like Sandoz is making this stuff anymore.
Right. So we mentioned foraging.
Right.
We mentioned buying off the street, neither of which we recommend.
No, again, this is all highly illegal. I mean, a Schedule 1 drug will get you a severe prison sentence. You might as well be caught with heroin.
Sure.
Or cocaine or PCP. Like, this is as bad as it gets.
It's not
getting
to be
caught with this.
Just because you can go out in the cow field and find some doesn't mean you should take it lightly. You're right.
No, this is huge, man. That's a huge prison sentence.
Very good to point
It's
out.
like a life-ruining prison sentence.
It is, very
Although
much.
I guess probably just about any prison sentence is fairly life-ruining. But this is like double life-ruining. It's huge.
Mycology. You can actually grow these things, and that's what some people do, some cultivators do.
This is also extremely illegal.
Very much illegal. And even so, we're going to tell you how to do it, because this is stuff you should know.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it?
Yes. Well, it's stuff that some people should know.
Well, I guess at the very least it's part of explaining everything.
It's on our website.
Yeah.
Jerry's just in there cracking.
I know.
You have to have a spore, because that's the first thing you need for the mushroom to grow. Spore grows onto one mushroom, but a mushroom can have thousands and thousands of spores.
Right.
On the underside, the little powdery stuff that we were talking about.
And remember we talked about taking spore prints for identification. Those same spore prints are often what you get in the mail when you mail order mushroom kits.
Right. You can't just throw these spores in the ground. They have to be hydrated with clean water, meaning distilled water. And you can even buy syringes that are pre-filled with spores and sterile water.
Right.
From suppliers if you don't want to make your own.
Right. So you remember in the earthworm episode we talked about duff?
Yeah.
That organic, light, spongy organic material. You have to make your own version of duff.
Yeah.
Using brown flour, vermiculite, which is the little white pebbly stuff in like potting soil.
Yeah.
And water, and you just kind of mix it together, and it creates duff, a fluffy kind of spongy layer.
And I think rice flour too, because I think wheat flour might, I think it might mold easier or something.
Oh, okay.
I might be wrong.
and you create what's called a substrate cake, which is great. It's a great growing medium for mushrooms.
Yeah, it's like your soil,
Right.
pretty much.
And you put this little substrate cake in a can, like a jar, right?
Yeah, canning jar.
And then you put the canning jar in the canning bath
Yeah,
or pressure cooker,
Yeah.
which sterilizes the insides.
that's right.
And then I guess you inject the spores. If you have like a syringe with the spores in it, you inject it into the jar.
Yeah, poke some holes in the lid.
And then that eventually will grow a kind of a white ropey growth called mycelium.
Yeah, it's got to be at a very steady, humid environment. It's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. And within about a week, like you said, you get the mycelium. And then if you get mold and stuff like that, that means, it wasn't a good environment. But eventually, once it's covered in mycelium, you're going to put that into a plastic container for fruiting and under the right humid, warm conditions and grow mushrooms. And each little cake can grow a lot of mushrooms.
Yeah, like 1,000 or 100?
Yeah, not at once, obviously.
No, they grow in waves supposedly, and you harvest and then more come, and you harvest and more come, and then over the course of a month is where you get your mushrooms from the cake.
Again, very illegal.
Yes.
To buy any of this stuff or to engage in growing any of this stuff.
And let's talk about that, Chuck. I think it's high time we got to the law part of it. Like we said, mushrooms since I think 1970 are a Schedule I drug. And like we said, Schedule I drugs are defined as drugs that are highly addictive and have no medical use, which is kind of weird to put mushrooms in there, but they are in there. I don't think you can argue that with the DEA that comes and busts down your door to break up your mushroom growing operation that, hey man, these things are not addictive and there's all sorts of medical uses for them.
Although it probably won't be the DNA. With mushrooms, it's
DEA.
probably going to be, what'd I say?
DNA.
Did I really? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the DEA either.
You're freaking out.
I know. It is likely not going to be the DEA either because it's probably going to be a state. Although, is there state DEA? Or there's something
there's
like that on the state level?
GBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's each state has a Bureau of Investigation that I think kind of acts like the
DEA.
State DEA.
But unless you have like some big, large operation going on, it's probably not going to be a federal crime. It's probably going to be a state crime.
Right. And time was you could order kits like the ones we described on the internet through the mail. If you do that now, you are going to get in a lot of trouble. The DEA probably will come to your house or intercept it or both. And that's been the case since 2003 for the states. It's been illegal, but apparently they started cracking down on kits.
Not that long ago.
In 2003. In Great Britain, in 2005, it was still legal to have mushrooms, fresh mushrooms.
Yeah.
But that's not the case any longer. And then in Amsterdam, I was surprised to learn of this. In 2001, they outlawed dried mushrooms.
Yes.
And then in 2008, they outlawed fresh mushrooms. So you can't have any mushrooms in the Netherlands.
But in Mexico, they do have exceptions for indigenous peoples and being used in ceremonies and such.
We do in the United States as well, but not necessarily for psilocybe mushrooms. More for, I think, peyote is the one that's got the big exception.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Native American Church is allowed to use peyote.
So, Josh, we said that for many years, about 35 years or so, it was shut down as far as research goes, as, potential medical benefits. Mm-hmm. Since, I don't know when they said you can again, but I know in 2006, Johns Hopkins started a long-term research study, along with some other places, but Johns Hopkins really has headed this up. And they found out a lot of really interesting things, like you said, OCD, and some eating disorders, some compulsive eating disorders.
Yeah, so basically any compulsion?
Yeah, they found that in a Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, it was written that study indicated that for a period of about 4 to 24 hours, they remained symptom-free for that period, and sometimes it was even for days, and that they said that there is no treatment that eases the symptoms as fast because it's pretty much immediate.
Of the compulsive disorders?
Yeah.
I would imagine you have a compulsion, or your compulsion is exacerbated by a lack of serotonin. You take mushrooms, and all of a sudden your brain is flooded with serotonin.
Cluster headaches?
Yeah, this one was interesting. I read about this as well.
Cluster headaches are pretty much the worst pain you can have in your head. They liken it to childbirth without anesthesia.
Jeez.
And in England, this is in the Guardian that I read this, there are about 6,000 people in England that suffer these attacks, sometimes daily, with no more than a couple of weeks remission. And
it's called a cluster period.
With the remission, or
like these
periods where you have them?
Right. Well, yeah.
So
cluster period.
Apparently psilocybin helps us out a lot. This one guy, Richard Aliff, says that he's tried conventional treatments and everything his whole life, and the only thing that brought him relief was the magic mushrooms, and even by some longer periods of remission between attacks.
Yeah.
So there's another treatment.
There's also, whenever you hear of mushrooms or psychedelics or hallucinogens in general, like the whole idea of religious epiphany or feeling like you're at one with the universe or something.
Yeah, a mystical experience.
Right. Early on in the West study of mushrooms, this was kind of noted, and there was this famous study in 1963 where they gave psilocybin to a group of divinity students and sent them to church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they, of course, reported like all sorts of wonderful mystical feelings and connections with God and religion and just every enlightenment, basically.
Right.
Is what they reported. Which is not that surprising because, I think you could have called that one, right?
Sure.
But what's very surprising is that 25 years later, they surveyed the participants again, and the people who had received psilocybin reported a greater number of positive life changes than people who hadn't been given psilocybin, like the controls who'd gotten placebo instead.
Well, that's what Johns Hopkins has found so far too. They did a study on 18 adults. This is just one of them, and 94% said that it was one of the top 5 most meaningful experiences in their lives.
Yeah.
40% said it was the single most meaningful experience. And then they interviewed them again a year later and found that they still felt that way and had these changes in empathy, greater understanding of people, less judgment. And their family members even noticed that they were calmer, happier, and kinder because Dr. Griffiths is the guy leading this. He thinks that they found the sweet spot, which is just enough to get you to that place, but not so much that it could have an adverse effect.
Right.
I got one more, too, if you're up for it.
I am, man.
WebMD. This was just a couple of months ago.
WebMD's conducting psilocybin studies?
No, they were just reporting on Johns Hopkins again, which is Party Central, I guess. Personality in humans is generally pretty fixed after the age of 30, they say. And it takes something like a job change or a big move or a death in the family or a divorce, like something really big to affect your personality in any meaningful way, generally, unless you take mushrooms once.
Really? Is
what they found. Openness decreases across decades very slightly, and people generally become rigid and less creative. But the 52 adults that volunteered to eat psilocybin from the ages of 24 to 64, 57% had transcendent mystical experiences while taking the drug, and they said measurable increases in openness, which is one of 5 key parts of your personality. And it did not affect the other 4 parts, which is interesting, which is neuroticism, extroversion, agreeableness, and conscientiousness.
Huh.
But apparently it makes people more open and creative.
What's crazy to me is looking at like the studies and what they're doing in the studies. Like, they found that, I think like, 2 milligrams or 5 milligrams, some ridiculously large amount of psilocybin injected intravenously through an IV drip was like too much. Patients started reporting that the experiences were a little overwhelming and terrifying.
Yeah.
And can't you imagine some poor sap in like a hospital room getting like 3 milligrams of psilocybin delivered intravenously?
That's not set and setting.
And there's also there's been a lot of cats, dogs, rabbits, monkeys, cats, I think I said rats, mice.
Cats really love it, though.
That have been given psilocybin over the course of time in the name of research.
Or eaten it in the wild, I imagine.
Well, have you ever seen The Bear? The documentary that follows the two bears?
No.
The bear eats mushrooms.
Oh, really?
And they have this big, like, scene where it's, like, just tripping and flowers are blooming and the sky is just moving with the stars and everything. And we were looking closely. Yumi and I were checking it out last night. It's clearly a person dressed as a bear tripping. So we went and did a little research. We're like, this is a documentary.
Right.
And, yeah, they had somebody dress up as a bear for that part. But the actual bear did actually eat mushrooms. They just the director was taking a lot of artistic license.
Yeah, I would say so.
But you have to imagine, like, what's it like for an animal? Like, how can we even tell?
Yeah.
Apparently, mice show that they're hallucinating through head twitches, and then monkeys who have been taught to self-inject psilocybin tend to zone out. Fixed staring is what that's called.
Yeah.
Or they'll grasp at unseen objects. Can you imagine some poor monkey doing that?
I can.
Okay.
To be fair, too, that the WebMD report, 60% said they had these transcendent mystical experiences, but a lot of people also had bad trips.
Sure.
Had harrowing bouts of fear and anxiety. So, we're not saying that's like, take mushrooms and everything's great for your life.
Right.
They found that it can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Yeah, I guess there's probably no such thing as a neutral mushroom experience.
I don't think so. I think it's going to affect you profoundly in one way or the other.
Yeah. If you want to know, you got anything else?
I got nothing else, sir.
If you want to know more about mushrooms, you can read this article on the site, this crazy article on the site, How Magic Mushrooms Work, by typing that into the search bar at howstuffworks.com. And that means that it is time for listener mail.
And I think we proved that we can cover other stuff like this.
We will find out if we get in a lot of trouble for this one, whether we can cover stuff like this or not.
That's a big part of the world, and we're out to explain everything.
Exactly.
Not just flowers and bluebirds. We have to cover the dark underbelly as well, Jeff. All right, I'm going to call this from Max.
Okay.
Long-time listener, first-time emailer. I've sent email lots of times, but just not to you guys. Max is a funny guy. I've listened to the show religiously at work, but since I was laid off in May, I'd fallen far behind. Hustling to get that dollar left little time for lengthy dissections on cheese-making arts or why we get zits. I posted the details of my sad, unemployed, SYSK-less experience on Twitter, and you guys retweeted it to your adoring throngs. You did that?
Yeah.
That's nice. I got many well-wishers, a couple of people who asked for my CV. What does that stand for?
Curriculum vitae.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it,
your
but
resume.
Yeah, but I just never knew exactly what it stood for.
Now you do.
It's like the WC. When you walk in there,
the water closet,
you're going to find a toilet.
Yeah.
Because it's a water closet.
But they even call the toilet the water closet. It's not even just the room. It refers also to the toilet for some reason, which makes no sense to me.
It's a closet. There's water. Where was I? I got many well wishes, a couple asked for my CV, and several new followers I got out of this retweet. People are actually following this back as you. Not much came of that alone, but it was awesome that you guys did that for me. Really cheered me up when that job search had been in vain for such a long while. So I wanted to send you dudes a heads up that after 4 lengthy interviews with the same company, I've been hired. I was vetted more thoroughly than Sarah Palin. It's an office gig in a nice neighborhood about 10 minutes from my home, which is a real perk that's hard to come by here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'll be making more money than ever before, working with a friend of mine And now I had plenty of time to catch up on your fine program. So huzzah to that.
That is awesome.
Thanks for your help, dudes. If I ever find myself in Atlanta, or you find yourself by the bay, I owe you many beers.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Max in Martinez, California, who you can follow at Wicked Machine, if you're so interested.
That's awesome.
And I guess he'll be tweeting about his great new job working with his buddy.
Yeah.
Sleeping late.
Making more money than ever.
Rolling in dough.
That's nice.
Good for Max.
Thanks a lot, Max, for writing in. Yeah, I was wondering, actually, like a week or so ago, how he was doing. But yeah, like right away, somebody was like, hey, send me your CV.
That's
your
cool.
curriculum vitae.
People are going to be, every unemployed person on the planet now is going to say, Josh, help.
We'll retweet him. Apparently it doesn't do a whole lot, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah. If you want to, I guess, let us know that you're unemployed on Twitter, you can tweet to us at SYSK Podcast. You can go hang out with us on Facebook.
Indeed.
Facebook.com/Stuff You Should Know. Or you can send us a good old-fashioned email at stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com.
Hey everybody, here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's U.S.-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, SimpliSafe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes. So it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the SimpliSafe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the SimpliSafe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplisafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Mom, can I have Lingo Kids? Dad, Lingo Kids, please!
When did we become the Lingo Kids house?
No idea. Last week it was dinosaurs. This week it's...
Lingo Kids!
Why Lingo Kids?
Because it's the best thing ever. We can play games with astronauts, wild animals, and superheroes.
With more than 4,000 interactive games, songs, and shows, Lingo Kids is the #1 entertainment platform for young kids.
So, no dinosaurs?
And dinosaurs! Lingo Kids!
Everything kids love. Download it for free.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.